Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you had a great week. Today is January 26, 2024, and this is your Friday planning video. As we come to the end of another crazy market week, I want to refocus on something that I read again this past week. The idea of risk tolerance is something that I want to revisit. I've spoken a lot about recency bias, and that's the idea of being biased by whatever has been happening most recently, especially in this case, in market action. This is why it always seems as the markets go down, even though it's not always logical, the normal action of people is to want to sell. This is especially the case after a year like 2022, bad year, market prices of stocks were down, but this is not when most people want to come in and buy. They go the other way. After a year like 2023, they are often all over wanting to buy as things are so much better. And if you mean by higher priced, then much better. It's not exactly the same thing, but it's sort of like finding that sale rack at the store has been removed, so now's the time you want to buy everything. Doesn't sound right. That is what so often happens. So I want to talk briefly about how this affects your risk tolerance, or at least the tolerance that you are willing to admit to yourself or to others. When markets are up and things are going well, this is the time that I get so many calls to buy more into those stocks. I often respond with comments about the risk to a stock that's up 20%. Stock like Nvidia, for example, that's up 20% in the first 13 or so trading days of this year. I'm not saying that it's going to go down or even it'll stop going up, but the idea that this is not risky is lost on many that either own the stock or have watched those stocks. So this is the point, a high level point. As markets go up and down, they do so in cycles. They're not uniform in nature, but they are in a cycle. It's important to know what kind of losses you can take. This is key, as the gains most people are okay with. But winning a lot can be as hard to successfully mold into your plan as losing, only because it changes that recency bias. I've mentioned to you before, and I will again, the key is to focus on the goals, not the market. The market is only part of how we get to those goals. Although I do not give personal tax or legal advice, the tax and legal planning, the education savings planning, how about the plans for income and retirement or long-term care? All of this is the goal. And yes, we measure how close we are by knowing where the markets go. The green or red arrows every day do not define reaching the goals, not if the goals are more than 24 hours old. It's important to know your risk tolerance and how that matches your goals. I recall so well, it was about April 2000, and stock markets were pretty ugly and getting worse for a while. My father took a call from one of our 82-year-old clients. He'd been watching the TV and was worried about the markets. He spoke to my dad and told him that he was worried and maybe we should make some changes to his portfolio to protect his income, the only goal he had. My father paused, then reminded the client that as his goals were only income and he had the assets to produce that income, he owned no stocks. He was worried for nothing. We already prepared for this. And this is the key, preparing for the ups and downs and being very clear that today may not have been a step towards that goal, but overall, we'll follow the process. You hear me say it weekly. Determine the goal, come up with a plan to reach that goal, implement that plan, evaluate that plan, make necessary changes to that plan, and then repeat. So as these markets go from a horrible 2022 to an amazing 2023, and so far a flat 2024 to date, please know yourself. Let me help. We'll work on these words: aggressive, conservative, moderate, and put real life actions with them. For now, keep up with the planning videos, and if you can, fight the recency bias. Keep watching the Monday market updates too. Please stay in touch, and let's get together soon to plan 2024 and beyond. Have a great weekend.